Hello Taurus, Taurus rising and Taurus moon people. This is your your monthly astrological horoscope for February 2017. You can see what habits can do to you. You can see what habits can do to you. I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who likes and shares and subscribes on these videos. I really do appreciate the support that I'm getting here from you guys. And of course, those of you who are interested in getting a session with me, you can always do so at my website, integrativemysticism.com. Now, February looks like a very, very nice month for a lot of folks because it's a lot easier than what we've seen in December and January already. We have a lot of focus on long-standing aspects, things that are going to be hitting for longer than just February. But these hits are soft, but it is a game-changing kind of month. In the beginning of the month, we do have Venus and Mars together in your 12th house. This is your hidden zone. This is your place of secrecy, your private life. And it's there all month. Both of them are there all month long. And when we have Venus and Mars in our private life, it's talking about creating more depth in our relationships. It's talking about bringing people closer to us, yes, but this is also an opportunity to even start getting more intimate with folks that you feel may have put up walls around you. Or maybe you've been the one with the walls. Because when Venus is in our 12th house, it's an opportunity to kind of get down into the psychology and the emotionality of the romantic relationships that we have. And Mars in the 12th house is all about getting into the psychology and emotionality of the platonic relationships that we have. So it's time to think about how close and how deep are the relationships that we have with our lover or with our best friend even. You know, nowadays we don't have a lot of latitude to have deep, close relationships with people who are just friends. You know, it's almost like the societal conditioning says if you're not blood relatives and you're not, you know, planning on getting married, then we're fair weather at best, which is so unhealthy. And I think that with Mars and Venus, we actually have this tightening of all bonds coming in for you. With Mars in the 12th house, however, you do want to make sure that you keep an eye on your physical stamina. Sometimes during, you know, Mars in the 12th house, we tend to find ourselves getting a bit tired, starting to get a bit burnt out. But that burnout is important. Pay attention to what you're burning out on. Don't just assume you're burnt out on everything. There usually is a culprit. We may be feeling during this time we are losing our passion for a certain job, or we are losing our passion for a certain group, and usually it does come because there may be a lack of emotional currency or a lack of bonding there. So we can either fix it or take on a replacement, which is also very likely. On the 6th of the month, we do have Jupiter turning retrograde in Libra in your 6th house of physical health, reputation, and your work. And Jupiter retrograde's not a bad retrograde. I always worry because whenever I say the R word, some folks just jump to the conclusion it's going to be bad. And it's not, because with Jupiter's retrograde, we basically have the bringer of luck and happiness and wealth and security and expansion. Now, instead of expanding, we're finding hidden treasures and hidden gems in our own backyard. We're taking the expansion part out of it, but everything else stays. And when it comes to your work and your reputation, this actually has a lot more to do with a lot of you Taurus people finding out that there's ways to actually make more money between now and June doing the same job that you have without needing to go through more training, without going through the process of maybe changing your position or changing your education or anything along those lines. And this could be because we take on a job that's just going to pay more for you to do the same thing, or we just find out that we're getting a raise for reasons that are totally just reasons, and I like that for you because, again, it's that unexpected good luck that you don't see. Again, it's a hidden gem. On the reputation front, you are going to also be noticing that this time of year, you might not necessarily be feeling like you are as popular, you're not as well known. People might not be taking as much notice of us in terms of large crowds. So this could be maybe a bit troublesome for people who do require a bit more public affirmation to get their work done. But you will find out that you're starting to have champions. Alright, and when I say champions, I'm talking about people who stick up for you, people who are working on your behalf, And even if you might not be able to get that kind of expanse or that kind of social recognition for yourself, they may, because again, we don't know where Jupiter retrograde falls in their chart, and you may actually want to let these emissaries work on your behalf instead. Sometimes it's nicer to, sometimes getting an endorsement is better than going out and, shamelessly self-promoting. And that energy is going to be with us all the way up until June. On the 7th, we've got Mercury moving into Aquarius, your 10th house of career. And again, we have the speeding up of progress, speed-ups of promotional and upward mobility opportunities in work and in career. If you have been already on some kind of track to try and get yourself into a new designation, work for a raise, or maybe even try and get yourself in a place where you're able to actually have more constructive dialogues with higher-ups on how to even customize the job that you have, or maybe even get or I guess you could say hire new employees, or maybe even foster better relationships with your subordinates. Mercury is going to be forcing that to happen, but it's forcing it in a way that's beneficial to you. There may be openings that show up again, and with the minimal effort that comes with that Jupiter retrograde, we may be able to segue into that opening no problem, especially between the 7th and the 25th of this month. On the 10th, we have a full moon lunar eclipse in Leo, in your 4th house of home and family. And this can actually be a very nice connection for a lot of you Taurus people, but be careful, because lunar eclipses do raise the, I guess you could say, the stress when it comes to, family affairs. And because this is connecting so strongly to Saturn, it's connecting so strongly to Uranus and to Jupiter all at the same time, this could actually be very beneficial to you, but cause some strife within the family. This could be an opportunity that you would require a move or a change of schedule. We might actually be moving or unloading a large piece of property. There could be a major sale that happens either for yourself or within your family. And again, there may be some controversy around this for some reason, but all in all, it is still on the up and up. Lunar eclipse energies tend to last longer than a few weeks, though. They tend to go on for about 90 days to 4 months. So this might not all just happen right away, but I do think that the dialogues will begin around the 10th. We also see with the full moon lunar eclipse that there may actually be an opportunity to settle some kind of outstanding stress or perhaps even controversy within the family with a big final showdown, but again, at the end of the day, this will be peaceful for everybody. We have to have the big fight, and then everything's good to go. On the 18th, we've got the Sun moving into Pisces, into your 11th house of friendships and social networking, where the Sun will stay all the way up until about mid-March. And with the Sun in your 11th house, it's time to be focusing on actually healing and getting more out of our friends and our friendships, reconnecting with people that we're not related to, we're not married to. This is about strengthening our platonic relationships. And if you haven't felt like you've had much of a social life, or you feel like you've drifted too far apart, well, the Sun is actually going to be pulling that energy back in. Even those of you who are currently very active with your friendships, remember we do have that Venus and Mars in your 12th house, so it's about deepening relationships there and getting tighter there. It could also be healing a friendship that may have been struggling, maybe a bit stressful, maybe a tad on edge, so we're starting to see some recovery moments there. On the 25th, we've got Mercury moving into this area of your chart. And this is actually giving you opportunities to maybe even to go on quite a few adventures during this time. And possibly this is with somebody brand new. We've got a new moon in your 11th house as well, sort of creating a new friend or a new friendship. Possibly even promoting somebody within your friendship circle to be the new best buddy or one of the new best buddies. And this could be actually very much a lifelong experience, because this solar eclipse new moon, I should have said solar eclipse first. It's a solar eclipse, by the way, in Pisces is actually going to be bringing you something very, very substantial here. And this could also be a friend who becomes sort of instrumental to you accomplishing some major life goal, some major life dream, possibly involving travel, or at least checking something off your bucket list. So that is your forecast. Taurus, almost forgot your name there. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.